interplay between the players. But we'll try to do a better job.
Yeah.
This one, Reid Duke, Blue-White Miracle Tax versus Rudy Briksza, Esper Stoneblade. I'm gonna go over Rudy's deck.
Yeah, I understand. Excuse me. I understand the. You know, I don't necessarily fault the players. I'm just saying, but that was the worst match to cover. I think there was another Enchantress match where it was Enchantress versus Zoo, and Enchantress locked the Zoo player out of the game real early, and then still just took forever to do anything.
I remember that one. Was that?
That was actually DC, the record-breaking DC.
Was that
I
one
think.
when Mary made top?
Yeah, that was Mary.
Yeah,
It was.
I remember that
yeah.
one.
So, turn 1, Divining Top from Reid Duke. Fantastic start.
So Reid's got 4 copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor. I guess he'd heard that he was better than all.
Jace the Mind Sculptor,
Upkeep.
better than all. Jace the Mind Sculptor.
So Esper Stoneblade for Rudy Briksza. And will we see a Stoneforge Mystic?
Yes, we will.
What will he summon? What will she fetch? Batter style.
Top. Takes a look.
Reid.
Polluted Delta right off the top.
Immediately Swords to Plowshares.
Swords for the Squire.
So you watch a play like that, Reid already figured out he was going to make this entire sequence of plays during Rudy's turn before he probably even topped.
Yep.
Because he knew what the top card was that he ended up keeping.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, you know, you're trading card for card, trading 2 life for nothing, as well as the opponent having Batter Skull in his hand, which is a compelling thing to have. Just an extra card in general. But the amount of mana required to activate the Batter Skull in the absence of a Stoneforge Mystic is quite prohibitive for legacy purposes. So, you know, Reid gains a lot of mana by shooting the Stoneforge Mystic, even if he's seems to be a little bit behind on other metrics.
Right.
Card advantage.
Yeah, stalling him from getting that Batter Skull into play so soon. So.
So obviously, like a Brainstorm, he probably puts it back in his deck. You know.
Yeah.
To be fetched by a future Stoneforge Mystic.
I think that's exactly what he did. I can't see the Batter Skull any longer in Rudy's hand. And Reid's turn, I believe, here.
So Reid, is he going for counterbalance? He
There's
is.
a counterbalance, and we've got force. We've definitely got Force of Will.
Will there be a fight? Force of Will.
Remove Brainstorm, says Rudy Briksza. Go to 20.
What will Reid Duke do? Think he's going to fight back on this?
I'm saying Reid Duke's Twitter name should be Sick Reid, shouldn't it?
Force of Will.
Removing
Snapcaster.
Snapcaster? Okay.
Force of Will is going to go to the graveyard. Does Rudy have a further effect? Maybe.
Maybe. He's going to crack a fetch line. Go to 19. Refresh the top of his library.
That counterbalance should really be on the stack, not like sitting there next to the...
I always like to, once it resolves, I always like to put it next to the top and say Soul Bond, right?
Soul Bond. I like that, but even as a viewer, I'm confused as to whether
as a viewer, what's happening, it's technically on the stack.
Okay. Never you mind.
Oh, okay. That was an end of turn. Okay.
Mind Sculptor, probably. Right?
Didn't really change there. Yeah, I think he can just jam Jace here. Jace is a lot less likely to be countered off of the counterbalance because Reid's deck only plays Jace's, I believe, as his own 4s, yeah. Terminus is 6.
But of course, I mean,
3.
Reid can like look at the top of his library and then flip top into a Daze or something.
Of course,
like
there's ways around it. I mean, just as far as counterbalance top, it's less likely to counterbalance.
My point is, I'm skeptical that even if Jace hits, I'm skeptical if it sticks. Although, remember, if he flip tops and
he just has a Daze,
or he
in his
just
hand.
has a Daze.
Never he's just like, I'm not even gonna try counterbalance here. He also didn't have the. He would have to crack the fetch land, so I believe he tapped the land that he returned.
So this might want to sit back, Joseph.
sit back, relax, and enjoy counterbalance and top.
This one's not going to be fast.
The players are actually playing very briskly.
They're playing briskly, yeah. I agree.
I like that. So
it's not going to be fast. I mean, even
so far we're just land go. End of turn, then Dillian click, I believe, from and
Reid had the sick Reid.
He had the sick Reid. I'm telling you, that's what his Twitter name
for
should
sure.
be.
His name should be Sick Reid.
I also thought Oren Beasley should be Oren Markov. You know?
After his new facial hair.
Oh, I just mean because his name sounds like Soren.
That was truly the Sick Reid.
Yeah.
Duke.
And a Snapcaster from Rudy.
Reid Duke reveals a daze. I mean, Rudy Briksza is going to be running out of cards soon.
Yeah, it's funny how many cards already that counterbalances drawn Reid Duke.
Brainstorm.
Let's see. Let me see if there's anything on top. Here. Hey,
no.
Surprise!
He's got a 1, 2, and a 3 on top. 1, 2, and a 3.
Wow. No wonder he's not cracking that Delta.
He's got his perfect little empire there.
Yeah.
I think. What do you think he wants? He wants to get the second top so that he can actively flip top.
Sure, why not? That way he still sticks with a 1, 2, and 3 on top for the most part. Or he has the access to the 1 to put on top and still has top there. So basically, at this point, counterbalance top, wielded by Reid Duke, has just pretty much countered everything Rudy's done. Restoration Angel from Rudy Briksza, and
I wonder if Reid's like, I don't know if I have any 4s.
And he's like, I'm gonna look at the top 3 and Jace the Mind Sculptor. Better than Restoration Angel.
Wow. It's
I love counterbalance. I love it. I mean, I'm sure if I'm Rudy, I don't love counterbalance. Okay, here comes a Cabal Therapy from Rudy, and right into the graveyard. Yeah, top. I know. All right.
I think he probably took Trinket Mage because 3s are not that common.
Sure, maybe he did, yeah. And Stoneforge Mystic.
How does Rudy still have cards?
There's a daze on top. There's a daze on top of the Stoneforge Mystic.
He's probably gonna play Jace now, right?
Yeah, right off the top. He just picks it up and puts it in.
Oh, now he gets to. Oh.
This is the setup I love, right?
Okay.
So Reid can win with Entreat the Angels, right?
But
why? But this is my favorite way to win. You just go counterbalance top, Jason Mind Sculptor. I'm gonna Fate Seal you to death and counter everything.
I love it.
This is why I love. This is my favorite Legacy deck right now, anyway. I'm a big fan of the mono blue deck, but playing Miracles is just so much fun.
Double Divining top setup.
Yeah,
so
and Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Got an extra virtual 1.
So, Fate Seal you.
The beauty is he can let him have a lot of cards that.
Right, because he's got the
threats because he has counterbalance.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
just, you can have that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's a pretty bad card for me if it resolves. It's not resolving. I have counterbalance and whatever on top.
So he checked first to make sure there was nothing worth.
Yeah, let me see your graveyard. Now, yeah, you can keep Academy.
It's 11. What's Jace's ultimate at?
12.
12.
So he goes. That's another thing. Not only does Jace ultimate, but he stays on the table.
Stays on the table.
Then Dillian click from Rudy Briksza and Brainstorm.
Oh my God, not Brainstorm. He's gonna put the Trinket style back.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Oh
Trinket
wow,
Mage, right
this is
on top.
this is the best.
Wow. So, 2 very slow decks finish game 1 in 8.5 minutes. That was.
I'm stunned. This is.
That was awesome. I'm sorry, Rudy. I mean, I'm a big fan of the other deck, and it was fun to watch it annihilate you right there. But
Reid Duke is playing so on point, all weekend.
Is he gonna back-to-back this weekend?
I don't know. I mean,
he's good.
He's just playing awesome. Ruben came over. He's like,
Ruben's like, what is going on?
What's going on? I'm just, I don't know. Just playing awesome Magic. Like to watch it. Apparently, there's a card that's better than the other cards.
I mean, counterbalance top is, and then Jace. He had Jace on 11 when Rudy scooped, obviously. Yeah. It was that was a rough game for Rudy. So let's take a look and see what we can do if we're Rudy.
Have you ever beaten an ultimate Jace? You've gotten Jace ultimated and won?
No.
No?
I've never gotten Jace ultimated. I don't let that happen.
Really? You never gotten Jace ultimated?
I don't think so. I can't remember anybody ever because I usually am playing Jace too. So somehow I
actually
managed to keep...
I beat Ultimate Jace 4 with a regular Jace 3 once.
Yeah, see,
which is like, I mean, that seems pretty unlikely, right?
Yeah, like I'm always playing Jace, or like in Standard I was, and then in Legacy I do, and it just seems like nobody can ever, like I don't let somebody, obviously nobody wants to let Jace do it, but I've successfully never let it happen. Of course, playing, you know, Jace Balerion and Jace the Mind Sculptor alongside each other in Standard made that even, you know, even easier.
All right.
I could be wrong. Maybe one of my friends or somebody remembers doing it to me, but
I like the new graphics setup that Evan has.
I love it.
It looks beautiful.
It debuted a few weeks ago in St. Louis, I think, and I knew it was coming. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I knew that there was going to be a new setup, and it just looks so good.
It looks like an iPad case.
It does. It's very streamlined, very clean, very elegant. No serifs on any of the text. No fancy like textures and things. It's just very, very nice. I love it.
I think graphic design's just gotten more and more minimal over the years. Like
it kind of has.
Like when I first got into like, you know, internet publishing and so forth, like everything was like all looked like chains and metallic shines.
Yeah, like and then like beat up textures and stuff, like something got like all rusty and somehow this text is rusty and
yeah, I mean
stained.
Now it's just like how simple can you make it?
So okay, Noyan says he's pretty sure he Jace ultimated me in our Legacy playtest. That might be that'd be possible. I just don't remember. It doesn't happen very often. But then again, you know.
Metal NDN, the word is mana. It's an actual word. Magic didn't make it up.
You just pronounce it wrong.
I pronounce it correctly.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
But I think it's hilarious how much people want to harp on the fact
I
the way you
don't understand this. It's an actual word. For example, how do you pronounce the word culinary?
Culinary.
That is wrong.
Is it culinary?
It's culinary.
Interesting.
Okay. It is. It's probably not the most mispronounced word, but it's probably up there, culinary.
Yeah, I believe it. I was actually starting to look at the sideboard too, but I think somehow we got distracted. I don't remember. So, Rudy has Intuition, Cabal Therapy, Terminus, Surgical Extraction, Engineered Explosives, Nile Spellbomb, Disenchant, Wrath of God, Lingering Souls, Zealous Persecution,
Perish.
And Perish.
I think he'll bring in Disenchant.
Yeah,
maybe Cabal Therapy. The thing is, Cabal Therapy is very bad anytime after the early turns.
Yeah,
it's
which
just
you
like,
saw it right there.
It's like an invitation to getting smashed by flip top.
Yeah, so he can bring in the Disenchant, he can bring in Engineered Explosives, maybe, to help out dealing with counterbalance or top. Well, he would have to...
Do you think Reid brings in his moat?
He'd have to get Reid to tap the top before he can actually activate the explosives and kill the top that way. But
moat?
Reid bringing in moat. I guess he could.
I think he could bring in the click and the moat, which will counter half of Rudy's ground guy. You know, like if the moat by itself, as long as it's not dead, it's like inviolate, right? You can't.
So, top is countered by Spell Pierce. So Rudy Briksza has an answer for the first turn top, and Relic of Progenitus from Reid Duke.
Reid actually has multiple Relic of Progenitus in his main deck.
Two. And any in the board?
No.
None in the board.
Esper Stoneblade. Rudy summoning Stoneforge Mystic. Swords to Plowshares on Stoneforge Mystic. My presumption is the Mystic is dead, though it has not left the battlefield yet.
It's gone. Batter Skulls to Plowshares.
Batter Skulls to Plowshares. Trinket Mage. Presumptive target Sensei's Divining Top. Correct. You notice Reid's playing like Jan Maurits Merkel here? Do you know the Merkel style of play? Where you take the center of the game?
Oh, yeah. He did that when he won and extended, right?
When he beat Willie Edel in
with countertop Goyf, right?
No. It was a limited pro tour.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
he pushed his cards further and further towards the center, which makes your opponent's position cramped. So like he has less and less space and material.
Okay. I feel like I was thinking of something else.
I'm wondering how far the cards are going to get over. Because when Reid starts attacking, he'll probably push his
just
mage
push
a little
the
bit
G
further.
out of the way.
A little bit further.
So
this is like a
Rudy
really,
resolves a G10.
So people at home, just watch this. I think Reid will push further and further forward.
Right, so Trinket Mage gets in. Rudy plays a polluted Delta, passes back. So for those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco in the booth with Michael Flores, and we're watching Reid Duke versus Rudy Briksza in round 4 of 9 of the Legacy Open, the StarCityGames.com Open Series in DC. Reid Duke just smashed Rudy game 1 with counterbalance top and then Jace the Mind Sculptor. Rudy trying to take game 2 here.
Oh, I would guess that Mind Sculptor might leave hand.
So Vendilion Click from Rudy takes away the Mind Sculptor, but also is exiled by the Swords to Plowshares from Reid Duke.
Patrick Chapin ranks Vendilion Click very, very high among creatures all time. He has it in like I think the top 5 creatures all time.
It's definitely.
You know what he has at number 1? Emrakul the Aeon Storm.
Interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about that in between games. There's a Cabal Therapy.
4 days.
Either he actually just named days.
Well, a hard Terminus is not particularly impressive at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
So in the meantime, Trinket Mage grinding out.
See that Jade's fallen a little bit behind already?
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Line it up. You can see Trinket Mage attacking is lined up with the card.
It's up against the card in Star City Games now.
Even Reid's library has started to scoot forward.
So look at the delta between the Star City Games logo on Reid's side, which is about an inch, and how far it is on Rudy's side, which is almost 2 inches now, against the stripe of the logo.
I see what you mean.
So look, it's even further.
There's a Batterskull. Is that a he's fetching and then he's casting Batterskull.
Wait, why is he picking up? Oh, he's fetching.
He was just making some shortcuts here.
So Reid is in an interesting spot now. Probably he'll have to sacrifice his Relative Progenitus to see if he can get out of this, right? An active Batterskull plus a Jide is dangerous for poor Trinket Mage. Yep. As anticipated. He's probably doing that in response, right? To see if he can get a counterspell. Oh, Brainstorm. 1, 2, 3. Like a simple Jace the Mind Sculptor would be fine here, I think.
Yeah, I think it would.
Eric Lauer, who's now on the development team, was the first person to use Brainstorm and Fawning Glaciers actively, or Brainstorm and then later Fetchlands actively. So he equated it very, very closely to Ancestral Recall.
Right.
Brainstorm was not widely played at all before Team CMU started playing it in like 1997, I think, and it had been legal for a few years. And it's amazing, probably to modern players who are like, "Oh, Brainstorm's one of the best cards." It took years for that card to be.
And when you say modern players, you mean
today's
present-day players, not modern to format. So looks like the Batterskull resolved.
See if Reid has an answer. He didn't break
1,
his...
2, 3, 4. Jace the Mind Sculptor bounced your germ.
Oh, so he's going to get...
He's going to fetch, too.
So he's probably got something exciting here. Maybe a counterbalance?
Potentially a counterbalance. Goes for 2 Tundras. Knows he's pretty safe from a Wasteland, I'm pretty sure. No Wastelands in Rudy's deck.
Yeah, it was pretty strong telegraph that Reid had an answer because he didn't break his polluted Delta.
Yeah.
Like if he needed to get something else, he would have broken his polluted Delta.
And there's the counterbalance. So we've got 2/3 of the trifecta that took game 1 from Rudy Briksza.
Well, don't forget that he can pick up Trinket Mage and then replay it to
search for the third part, right?
So what card was that?
Inquisition of Kozilek shows Rudy that Terminus is still there in Reid's hand.
So Rudy has not. What is this? Disenchant?
It appears to be a disenchant. And top on top.
Well, he didn't even need that.
No, he didn't even need to use the Trinket Mage to find it, but it does not successfully counter the disenchant. So blind flip shows us top. Disenchant gets rid of the counterbalance, and now Reid in a situation where he wants to rebuild that, so he's going to go ahead and top.
So Reid presumptively
he plays and looks with top.
Only has 2 other counterbalances in his deck right now, right?
How many did he play? 3?
He has 3 total.
Okay.
One's in the graveyard. So Reid arranges them and then brainstorms. It looks like.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think.
Swings for 2. So
yeah, that's definitely what he did. So he arranged them brainstorm.
Sounds like he likes the cards that are now in his
yeah,
hand.
whatever they were, he decided he wanted access to at least some of them. Brainstorm from Rudy, and a Stoneforge Mystic.
Reid doesn't have any like fair counter spells, right? He has one counter
Just
spell.
one actual counter spell.
So what could Rudy be getting here?
Yeah, he's got plenty of equipment on board. He may just not get anything. Yeah, and that's
so he's just equipping.
He's only got those 2 main, and his board has no more equipment. That's all his equipment.
So he didn't even search?
No, I guess he didn't even shuffle.
And
I guess he did
top.
brainstorm this turn, so he knows what's on top, so maybe he wanted it. He did have the opportunity to shuffle away whatever it is he brainstormed.
Seems like an odd use of one's mana. He doesn't have anything on the batter skull, right? So
right.
I mean, obviously,
it's just sitting there.
I mean, if Reid cared about that Stoneforge Mystic blocking, he would have bounced it.
That's true.
Like,
so he's fate sealing here. So I mean, we know he has Terminus.
He can flip top into Terminus at any time.
Yeah. He's tanking on this fate seal here.
So Reid Duke's tapping a bunch of land, and he's just going to hard cast Terminus.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was in his hand or it was on top, but either way, he could have just easily brainstormed it back and then done that, but he decided to fate seal instead. I like that. That's fine. If you're not using the mana, it's fallow mana anyway, right? It's just sitting there.
Fair.
So hard cast Terminus takes out the.
He doesn't ever have to expose the Sensei's Divining Top, then, right?
Yeah, that's true too. And fate seal again. So we're on the Jace plan.
I mean, does the Jace plan really work real well against an actual threat?
Not really, but the problem is Rudy now has to resolve Batterskull again, which is like, okay,
Force of will.
if it resolves, okay, forces it, never mind. But my point was like, the Jace plan's a little slower, but if he just keeps bouncing the Germ, Rudy's gonna have to keep bouncing and replaying that Batterskull, and like every other turn, Reid's gonna get a fate seal.
So this looks like game 1 now.
It's certainly starting to look that way. So Jace on 8 counters. No counterbalance here, but brainstorm from Rudy, trying to find a way to either deal with that Jace or actually just get somewhere in this game. Draws land, force of will.
It's like, whatever. I can do that every turn for no cards if I want. I'm not even doing that. So, Rudy putting back.
He's
just gonna keep Force of Will.
Yeah, I think he's got double force, double land. That's what he's got. Yeah, so he's gonna.
Is there a sack land in somewhere in there?
No, I don't see one. So.
I think I like that, keeping double force.
Yeah, I mean,
in this position that Rudy's in, which is having no clock, he's gonna probably fall behind to just a Sensei's Divining Top, let alone a Sensei's Divining Top and a Jace.
And Jace, Reid fate seals himself. That was nice too, because Rudy put something on top, which he knew Reid Duke was going to fate seal away. So Reid's like, well, obviously, whatever it is you put on top, you don't really want that bad. So I'm just gonna fate seal myself.
Yeah, Reid's pretty sharp at this game.
He is.
So how many counters on Jace? 12?
12 now. That
How
means
many
that's
does
a
he
Mind
need?
Sculpt. Yeah, that's it.
He needs how many? 11?
Needs 12.
He needs 12.
So
Oh, I don't think Reid's gonna ultimate here.
wouldn't want to kill his Jace, right?
It's possibly not. So there was a top activation.
Or
there he goes,
busy
and
knows.
there it is. Jace the Mind Sculptor takes down Rudy Briksza. I guess Reid Duke had a little bit to do with it too. 2-0 here in round 4 of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open in DC.
And, you know, Rudy was
I'm Joey Pasco, and you're Michael Flores, and you had something to say that I interrupted, sir.
sorry.
No, go ahead. That was
Rudy
fun.
seemed like he had some pretty good games, in particular in game 2.
Yeah.
But it ended up. I mean, Reid was just effortless in his end games in both cases.
I actually liked how Rudy played. I just liked the brisk pace from both players. Obviously, certain situations you're just not going to have a play. It's just going to be go. But a lot of times players just play really slowly. They're trying to think about something. I think Rudy had a plan. He just couldn't execute it. Every time he would get to a threat, some kind of way to dig into the game, Reid had an answer for it. If not immediately, very soon thereafter. So that's probably Rudy's first loss, I would guess. And hopefully we'll see him in contention for top 8 in a bit.